Hello, children! Welcome to the fantabulous world of Extra Tug, full of educational and children-friendly content. That's definitely what this is, so come on in. It's only $4 a month, and it's a lot of fun perks. Chris, why would you put that on the screen? You're ruining it. You're ruining it for everybody. When I was 12, my Wii Fit told me that I was obese in front of my friend's entire family, and I was like the plucky child in the neighborhood, and it changed how I looked at my body for the rest of my life. It was the ultimate betrayal. My video game called me fat. And ever since then, the fat shaming has only gotten worse. Everyone says you need to get in shape, but a circle is technically a shape, and it wasn't always like this, my tuggers, my little tuglets. It used to be beautiful, and I contend that it still is. To an extent. I mean, too much of a good thing is still too much of a good thing. Like, don't get so big you can't walk, but also don't be so skinny that I can see your skeleton. Both of those things are not good. So today, I want to just go over the history of how stupid weight loss is, and this is not me coping. I didn't just eat Three Musketeers behind the camera before this. I didn't suddenly start having cravings for candy. I didn't. We're gonna just jump right into it. It's not me coping. Weight loss can be bad. Back in the 1500s, having some extra poundage showed that you lived a life of plenty. Having a little bit of a gut in the 1500s was kind of like having your own rocket ship nowadays. It meant things were going pretty good for you. Let's look at the painter Peter Paul Rubens, who was born in 1577. He did a bunch of nude paintings of BBWs before he died, and he got really rich off of it. Because that's what people liked at the time. They liked a little bit of punch. If he was alive today, he'd be doing NSFW Art of Anime Girls on Twitch and Patreon. Food scarcity was also an issue between the 1700s and 1800s. Starvation was unfashionable all the way up until the 1900s. This is when, almost coincidentally, a noticeable shift in fashion began. Let's talk corsets, specifically. These chest compressors. You probably still see them at goth clubs and Renaissance fairs. They look great, but they're the single most uncomfortable piece of clothing ever invented. Women wore these, and sometimes still wear these, to match the unfathomable body standards that men put on them. Not to betray my own sex, but we're kind of shitty, guys. Bottom and top heavy, but the tiniest waist you've ever seen. Want an hourglass figure like all them super hot anime girls all us fellas can't stop looking at? Well, go ahead and break a couple ribs, because that's what we need. These things used to look extreme as hell, and they were built like freaking tanks. They used actual whale bones and all sort of stiffeners to make them have strong shaping structure. They went pretty much completely out of the fashion by 1920s, along with powdered wigs and 20 feet wide dresses, which was weirdly popular. I don't know why anyone would want that. The increasing class differences during the World Wars really made people feel fed up with the fat rich. And supply issues made fancy stuff harder to make, so that's a bummer. So the lower classes became a lot hotter, and the skinny bitches came into vogue. I don't know if I could say that. Scales weren't even widely used by doctors until the 1920s. They didn't have those little shame plates in their bathrooms that you pull out every once in a while and get real sad when you look at it. Stepping on you didn't even have home scales until 1885. People didn't give a shit about weight. Probably because everyone was starving, but still. And when you were finally able to own a scale in the US, they just tossed them around convenience stores like they were some kind of horsey ride for kiddos. Just a thing you stepped on for a good laugh. Oh honey, you weigh $120. Who gives a shit? They turned into a sort of slot machine where you'd guess your weight, lose the rigged game, and get a fortune for your penny. And the first American-made bathroom scale came out in 1917, and the market quickly got flooded with competition. People really wanted to see the quantification of their own relationship with gravity. I don't know, that's important, and it's still important. I don't know why. It was mostly fun, racism and religious superiority that drove people to the scales, not health concerns. Because after a few generations of slavery, and skin color becoming a less reliable way for white people to separate themselves from black people, they started attributing gluttony and weight with black people, which it all goes back to racism at the end of the day. So all the rich white ladies went on diets to maintain their false sense of superiority. Being a Protestant was still big in America as well, and fasting was a big part of it. So being skinny became associated with moral superiority, which is why all those like super religious mega church moms in the South have daughters that have weight issues because they are mean about it. Health was just a weird little thing that was sitting on the back burner waiting to make the entire world miserable. At the top of the 1900s, you could only really expect to live until your late 50s at best. Hand washing was still the latest fad, and people didn't really believe in it, and we still hadn't invented the tuberculosis vaccine. A lot of people still don't have the TB vaccine, and go watch a John Green video if you want to get sad about that. But thanks to a focus on this kind of thing, less and less deaths started happening due to completely preventable illnesses. People started paying attention to all the random shit that was killing them. Like back in the day, you were just happy to get some food. Now that you have food, you're like, why am I dying though? Why? Oh, I have worms in my brain? Okay. This is when like the first anti-smoking campaigns began. To be honest, we were figuring out the most basic shit, honestly. They were just starting to connect the dots that a certain level of thick also meant you were gonna die sooner. So in the eyes of the public, this is another reason why skinny became more attractive and meant you weren't gonna die that fast. We're a big fan of jumping on things that make us feel like a little less mortal. You know what I mean? Like humans are all really afraid of dying, so when we hear, oh, if you don't eat chips, you won't die so fast, we won't eat chips, or at least we'll feel really bad about doing it. But suddenly that gravity number really started to matter, and to the absolutely flawless system known as BMI. If you don't know, I just made a joke, because BMI is a worthless value that genuinely doesn't make sense at all. Body mass index is worthless and always has been unless you're an insurance company. Even the guy who made it, Adolphe Quetelet, whatever, good save putting an E at the end of that, never wanted it to be used for health assessment. Around 1830, he was just trying to figure out what the true average man was. His formula wasn't designed for health, he was trying to find the ideal, most socially accepted person, which makes it an absolute problem from its very conception. He was trying to find the most normal person, which, as you know, bad luck to start doing that. Quantifying your sociability scale is insane. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Medical director of the Connecticut Mutual Life Insurance Company, George R. Shepard, is the guy who inadvertently ruined everything for us. Around 1895, we were still looking at thinness as a death risk factor and wanted to standardize BMI system to determine medical risks. Because if there's one thing insurance companies love, it's not giving people insurance. They love not doing their jobs. It's like their most important thing that they do. They tasked Georgie with coming up with a standard, and after analyzing 70,000 policyholders from a 2-year period, he found that 20% above or below the average BMI was a risk. Oh, that's so crazy. It was so crazy that he was able to come up with that very complicated math thing that a lot of people fall into. Sorry, no insurance for you, asshole. This started being adopted everywhere in terms of granting life insurance, so suddenly the scale numbers mattered quite a lot. And BMI became a never-ending, stupid-ass popular force. It really, genuinely, I know it sounds like I'm like doing the health thing where it's like, oh, being fat's okay and all that stuff, and I know people who hate fatties are gonna hate that I say that, but at the end of the day, BMI is a ridiculous thing. You really shouldn't believe in it. It's asinine. Anyway. And then, World War I propaganda said that being fat was unpatriotic, which is weird. Something about saving resources for the troops. Don't be a piggy. Give some food to the people fighting. Who were we fighting World War I? It was Germany. But it wasn't the Nazis, so I don't know. The list of cultural idiocy that made skinny all the rage just goes on and on and on. It set the stage, the perfect stage, for diet culture to begin. Like Garfield the cat once famously said, diet is just die with a T at the end. Diets really started kicking off in the 1920s. The ladies really wanted to look like flappers, and they went to idiotic extremes to make that happen. One diet, called the Hollywood 18-day diet, was a little-known number that liked to starve starlets to make them lose a pound a day, only letting you eat oranges, grapefruits, toast, and eggs. You should never be losing a pound a day. That is so unhealthy. The medical millennium diet encouraged slow eating and regular enemas. Also, if you wanted to lose some weight, smoke some cigarettes. They make you poop a little bit more, you know, they make you lose your appetite. Just smoke some cigs. Oh my god, you're being so annoying. Just smoke a cigarette. It's easy to stay thin when you're slowly killing yourself, but one of the most famous dieting techniques, calorie counting, began in 1918, thanks to Lulu Hunt Peters' book, Diet and Health with Key to Calories. A better title would be called Food Shaming, because that's all her little book did. Food as fuel was not a pleasurable idea. Her perfect lunch was a bit of bread and cottage cheese, notably the worst of all the cheeses. In my mind, I just imagine a farmer chewing up a little bit of cud and spin it right into a plate, because that's what it looks like. But we've been chasing the diet of the week ever since. So let's do a speed run of all the dumbest fucking diets that have ever actually been popular throughout history. First, grapefruit diet. Grapefruit, really bad for your heart, but we're not going to talk about that. The grapefruit diet has been popular for a long time, but like I said, it's just the Hollywood 18-day diet. You avoid carbs and eat a grapefruit with every single meal. Though there's no basis in any kind of science, they say that the grapefruit is a fat-burning catalyst. It also leads to, once again, a lot of heart disease and a lot of complications with medications, and people die all the time by eating too much grapefruit, but it might make you prettier. Might make you ready for that wedding dress. So, who knows? Next up, we have the Atkins diet. Philip DeFranco did it. He hated it, but, you know, could work for you. Robert Atkins first came up with his carb-avoiding diet in the 1970s, but it didn't gain true popularity until the 2000s. Just like any diet that avoids one particular core staple of food, it's unbalanced and not good for you. It actually increases the chance of heart disease. It's exact opposite task that he was trying to tackle. We have keto. Keto's a weird one. It's been everywhere lately, and it's for all the wrong reasons. It actually dates back to the 1920s, and it was a way to help epileptics have less seizures. It's also carb-averse, which the more you read about these diets, the more they just say don't eat bread. It's all about unprocessed meats and veggies and fruits, cheeses. At the end of the day, it's also like you can have a pound of cheese and still be within the realm of this diet, and that's not good for your tum-tum, buddy. Some fad diets are bad for the people who aren't a part of the fad. For example, gluten-free. Do you remember this shit? It was like NFTs. Like, I saw the writing on the wall, this isn't gonna work. Around 2010, this became a super popular fad. Everyone was going gluten-free. While it was a fad, it's also a very serious diet that's necessary for people who suffer from celiac disease, a condition that makes anyone who eats a piece of bread feel like a bunch of knives is stabbing them from the inside out. Celiac is nothing to be fucked with. So, the fadification of the diet caused restaurants and food suppliers to get lazy. Viewing it as a fad just means that gluten-free foods don't get the controlled cooking experience that food for people with peanut allergies get. This means that when a chef is preparing a gluten meal and a gluten-free meal, he just uses the same pan because there's probably some fucking yuppie who doesn't actually need gluten-free food, and that person gets really sick all because Gwyneth Paltrow, it was being obnoxious back in the 2010s. It sucks. Then we have Ozempic. It's gonna get a little testy right now, gonna get a little weird. Ozempic is a diabetes medication, and you bet your sweet ass it's a fad diet. Everyone is taking it now because it makes you really thin, which means that it's more difficult for people who actually need it to find it. Just like what's happening with ADHD medication. Yeah, I have a bunch of Adderall in my closet. I'm selling it. But that doesn't, Chris, don't put that in. That was a bad joke, and YouTube will definitely not like it if I talk about that. Speaking of moving weight, let's talk about working out. Working out goes all the way back to the ancient Greeks and gymnastics. They called it gymnasium, which means exercise naked. Every time you go to the gym, do one for the Greeks. Take that hog out. Greek men had a tendency to get the hog out when they were getting into competitions or training for war. Working out in front of people is already embarrassing enough, and I have body issues. So it probably would be way worse being naked on a treadmill in front of everyone at the gym. But my hog would be swanging. It was a huge part of Greek culture though, but working out didn't really become important until the 19th century. Once again, people started associating physical fitness with a stronger sense of morality. Again, everyone just wants to be better than everyone else. And the Olympics, as we know them, were held for the first time in 1896. It didn't include women for the first 30 years because only men can jump far, run fast, and lift heavy things. And this kind of led to fitness being huge in Nazi Germany because being the perfect Aryan race was really important to them. So they all wanted to be really physically fit. It was a big part of the Hitler Youth because gosh darn do cults love starting people young. But fitness didn't really take off in America until the Cold War. God, just play the music. Just play the Cold War music. USSR, bring it in. Sickle and hammer, let me see it. Mostly, we just didn't want to be outdone by the communists. And President Eisenhower instituted the Presidential Fitness Test, a test that was designed to encourage fitness in the youth. But all it did was really give bullies more fuel to be evil to the weaker links. JFK really urged Americans to work out as well. And honestly, it's good to work. You should work out. It's ridiculous not to do that. But fad workouts have been around in America for eons. For example, this dumbass vibrating belt. Chris, put up a video of like a black and white footage of a lady using this thing. This don't work at all. This is stupid as shit. Because most people want to lose as much weight with as little work as possible, the vibrating belt machine was one of the first big fads in America. It got popular in the 1950s and did nothing but jiggle you around. Still, it took until the 80s for people to realize it didn't do a goddamn thing. How about jazzercise? Losing calories doing this. Jazzercise took over that particular popularity spot, but it dated back to 1969. It's somewhere between dance and yoga and kickboxing and a bunch of other weird shit. It had all sorts of at-home VHSs and jazzercise studios, successfully becoming one of the silliest ways to lose weight ever. Might I throw out a actual honorable mention to prancercise? Chris, put up a video of that weird lady doing prancercise. She pretends to be a horse and just jogs around a park. It's super fucking weird and I hate it. Then we have CrossFit, which is insane. I hate CrossFit so much. CrossFit began in 2000s and exploded onto the scene. It's one of the most intense workouts you can do, and fans of it are so annoying about it. CrossFit people just make their entire personality CrossFit. That's just what happens. Which makes it super easy to ignore how terrible it is for you. CrossFit is bad. People get seriously hurt doing CrossFit all the time because it's just like extreme explosive movements where are good for losing weight and working out, but if you're not, if you don't have a good person behind it, you're gonna blow your back out. Most commonly, people develop something called extraneal rhamboliosis, which is a breakdown of muscle from extreme use. Also, kind of killed a guy one time. First time they tried to include a swimming event, Serbian athlete Lazar Duric drowned. Moral of the story, CrossFit sucks and it hates you. And also, I want to talk about, it's so interesting because CrossFit, I remember they all came up, like everyone had a CrossFit studio in every town, and then a bunch of millennials went to do it, and then either people dropped out but the same millennials stayed, and now those CrossFit places are getting no new customers, but the people who still do CrossFit still do CrossFit. So it's like a cult that came up, has no new followers, but it's still profitable because the people keep doing it. It's very interesting. Go to your local CrossFit place. Everyone in there has been doing it for at least 7 years. It's so cool. Which leads me to the part of how everything we do here is just money grubbing bullshit. Most workout fads, most workout cults, they're all money grubbing bullshit. People are always trying to find new ways to drain us thick folks of our cash. You've got all these workouts that cost an arm and a leg. Every couple of years, there's some new piece of exercise equipment that everyone needs. Remember the Bowflex? The Total Gym? The P90 Flex or some shit, the shake weight. Even hula hoops started out this fucking way. That's where hula hoops came from. Then you've got all the fitness companies that want to sell you the right clothing and accessories for the gym. Everything that Under Armour makes is more expensive than every single one of my personal little ditties I like to throw on my body. But running shoes like Brooks cost around $150. All of this stuff is designed to be sweated through and beat to death. Why am I paying a premium for pieces of clothing that I'm going to be spending an hour or two at a time? Don't call me lazy. That's as long as you should spend in a gym. I'm never buying anything from Lululemon. I'm not gonna let that happen. Originally that was a lady brand, and then the hockey kids started wearing the sweatpants, and all of a sudden it's okay to do that. I don't agree with it. The number of MLMs that have popped up in weight loss space is absolutely insane. MLMs are also modern pyramid schemes. You should know that by now, but all of them are about losing weight. That Herbalife shit, it's all terrible. They turn their customers into sellers, acting like they're starting their own businesses, asking them to buy in bulk and sell to their friends. Then they recruit their friends to become sellers, and then all of a sudden everyone has $1 million worth of product and no one to sell it to. Amway was found guilty of illegal business practices in India, who identified it as straight up pyramid scheme. And they're still in business, selling nutrient supplements and all sorts of wellness garbage. Herbalife, it's still going on. I made a joke about it. It's still a thing. But in 2016, they paid out $200 million fine to the FTC after being accused of lying about how much money sellers could make on their products. Their total revenue as of 2023 was $5 billion. We don't even know if their products do anything for weight loss. They've never been tested. But we do know that they were sued in 2008 for having too much lead in their products. So what the fuck? Also Peloton and Soul Cycle and Step Class and hot yoga. All of it's, I hate all of it. Just, I don't know. It's so, every time you go to do something, people are like, well, if you stop eating, then your body's gonna hold on to nutrients, so then you get fatter if you stop eating, but if you keep eating, you're gonna be really fat, and if you work out on these days, you're gonna see less of a return, and you should work out to exhaustion unless you don't. It's all very confusing. It makes me very angry. I'm pudgy. That's just how it is. It's how I'm gonna be for the rest of my life. I'm sorry. This whole weight loss culture we have sucks ass. I'm not buying your crap. I'm not going to your niche gym. I'm not taking your stupid class. I'm gonna be thick and proud while not starving myself and surviving on grapefruits. If I wanna die early from a sedentary lifestyle with poor nutrition, that's just how it's gonna go. New videos every Saturday and every other Wednesday. Like, comment, and subscribe. Do all of those things. Check out Extra Tug for $4 a month. You get a new video every week. You support me. You get your name at the end of the video. You get to see this video a day early. Also, I have a new cat. I'm going to show her now. Chris, put up what she came in earlier. Chris, put up that clip now. Thank you so much. Hello, Jeej. Hi, Big Mama. Coming down to say hi? Come on. You're so slow going down those stairs. Chris, just put this at the end of the video. I have a new cat. She is gigantic. She's a big kitty. Her name is Gigi. Can you say hello? No, she's a lot quieter than Abby. Her heart's beating 1,000,000 times per second. I'm gonna let you go. Go ahead.